Well, well, well. 39 has finally arrived. I have now attained my 39th year serving from the heart as an educator in the nation of Antigua Barbuda. I want to first of all give all of the gratitude and all of the praise and glory to my Father, God, my Father, for allowing me to reach this milestone. I want to also thank Him for affording me the privilege, endowing me with the gift of impacting the lives of countless youths and having a good rapport and interacting with a large number of colleagues and parents. I think He has endowed me with a special gift that has enabled me to stay afloat, be on top of things despite all of the challenges that I would have experienced. So I want to first put that out there that I needed to give God all of the glory. I want to also say that there are a number of persons with whom I've worked that have made my tenure a better one, a one that is more manageable, and one that has brought me so much joy. So first of all, think of the persons that impacted my life as a child. So I'm thinking in particular of my kindergarten teachers who were excellent in their craft and who may somehow had an effect on me getting into the teaching profession. Although I still believe that teaching called me because, as I've always said, I've been teaching from since I was about 7 or even 8 years old. So I'm thinking in particular of a teacher who bears my name, Miss Rosamond Farrell. I don't know if she's still alive, but if you are, if anyone out there who's listening to me knows her or knew her, I don't know if she has a married title. They need to let her know that her student, her little shy, timid little student from way back in the 70s at the St. John's Catholic Primary School in Portsmouth, Dominica, is grateful for the impact that she had on my life. I'm thinking also of Miss Beatrice. I believe she has passed. And the impact that she had on my life. And again, I'm thinking as I'm going through of teacher Natalie Valentine, who was an excellent role model. I'm thinking about teacher Jean. I'm thinking about teacher Sister Andrea, that diminutive little nun who was a great role model. I'm thinking about Mr. Gordon, McIntyre Gordon, who taught me both at the primary and secondary levels. I'm thinking about Steinberg Henry. I'm thinking about my cousin Clifford Carillon, who taught me at the primary levels. They were great role models. They made me love being in school, being a student. And so I move on to secondary school, and I'm thinking about at the Portsmouth Secondary School so many years ago, I'm thinking about persons like Miss Magloire, my French teacher, who was a little bit stern, but she knew her craft. I'm thinking about persons like Philip and Philsbert Joseph, who themselves were excellent teachers. I'm thinking about Teacher Corbett. Sir, you were great. I'm thinking about Sheila Grimner. I'm thinking about John Grimner. They were excellent teachers. And how can I forget Miss Evelyn Douglas? I think now, Mrs. Evelyn Douglas Murdoch, you were excellent teacher. You impacted my life a great deal. So there were others, but these ones stand out in my mind as great role models. And then, of course, as I move over to the Antigua State College, I'm thinking about the late Rawdon Edwards, the greatest history teacher of all times. I'm thinking about Monsieur Bontin, a most excellent teacher of French. I'm thinking about the late Mrs. Agnes Jeffrey. And of course, the teacher training department, the late teacher Aislinn Richards. I'm thinking about Miss Serene Henry. I'm thinking about Echo Richards. You were great role models. I'm thinking also at the university levels of Dr. Rock, Dr. Pedro Welch. I'm thinking about a number of others whose name do not come to mind right now. You were good examples of what educators could be, and the impact that you had on me were is worthy of being remembered. And then of course, I can't help but talk about my very first supervisor, Mrs. Gloria Samuel, my first education officer, who introduced me to my first cohort of staff members. You were rather strict as well. You had high standards, but you saw something in me as well that pushed me on to higher levels. So I want to thank you so much, Mrs. Samuel. If you chance upon viewing this video or someone tells you about it, you were an excellent example of leadership, although some people thought you were a little too strict. And of course, I had my students. It wasn't always easy, but I think back, way back, about my first class that consisted of about 17 students, only 3 females, and a large number of males. It wasn't easy as a young teacher trying to get them to complete the curriculum that was presented to me, in spite of the challenges that a number of them faced. And then therein, I realized that the system hadn't adequately prepared our young men. There were too many young men who had issues with reading, and that really bothered me. And then when I moved a little lower down to the junior 3 level, or what is now known as grade 4, I saw the issue even more. All throughout my tenure, I did my best in ensuring that my students had a good person to impact their lives, even if they did not reach as far as they could have reached. The little that I would have imparted onto them would have made a big difference. So I want to really thank all of you, my past students, with whom I interacted. Some of you knew me as Miss Denard, and some of you know me as Mrs. Gordon. Whether you know Miss Denard or Mrs. Gordon, all of my former students, if you chance upon viewing this, I want to thank you for allowing me to impact your life. There were times when things didn't go as well as they ought to have gone, and I got a little stern with you, but it was all meant from the heart. I've always had a heart for students. I want to give gratitude as well to the parents with whom I've worked over the years and who made my job a little easy. And then, of course, I don't want to forget those who had their own challenges and didn't always see eye to eye with the way that things were done. But whatever it is, I am grateful to have impacted and interacted and engaged with you for the betterment of all children. And of course, I can't forget my teaching colleagues. I'm fortunate to have had two sets of teacher training classmates because, of course, I would have entered teacher training within the first 2 years of my teaching profession, but having become pregnant, and according to that rule that was prevalent at the time, I was forced to remove myself from teaching and teacher training until, of course, a year later. I still think about that archaic law, but it is what it is. And the thing about it is that my daughter, who I gave birth to following my tenure in the first year of teacher training, the first time around, she is now an educator herself. And what has warmed my heart even more is that she graduated this year with associate degree, and she graduated with honors, high honors. That warmed my heart because I said to myself, imagine I had to remove myself because of the law that existed at the time. And here it is that the child I gave birth to, she was conceived when I was studying. She came out and excelled. And I want to say, Roselle, I am so proud of you. I am so, so proud of you. You have so much talent within you. I know you can go very far. I see your love for your students. You go above and beyond, and you do your very best in ensuring that you make a difference. And I bless you, I bless you, I bless you, Roselle Gordon, as you continue your journey within the teaching profession. I bless you. And thus, of course, I have two sets, as I said, of teaching colleagues, but there are some of them that stand out for me. And one of them in particular is my longtime classmate, Veli Nicholas Benter. Veli and I have a special bond because we started school at the same time, way back in the 70s at the St. John's Catholic Primary School, onto the Portsmouth Secondary School. We graduated together. We graduated from the teacher education department together. We have a bond, and I guarantee you that Veli, she has since moved on. And I want to show her gratitude, Veli. You are doing so well. I want to offer you the gratitude for being an excellent teacher and being a good colleague. I guarantee you that if I'm feeling down right now and I begin a conversation with Veli, that whole mood will change. She's going to bring some laughter, some hearty laughter to me. It's good to have colleagues that you can count on that will take you to a warm place when you are not up to your best. So Valley Nicholas Benter, who is now at UE as a student and also a lecturer. I salute you, of course. Wendy Weaver, educator at heart. You are an excellent educator, and I want to salute you as well. And also for your part that you played in my life as an educator. I remember too well when we taught, when we peer tutored together at the Mary Piggott School. We had a good time. We did what we needed to do. You were a strong source of support, and you continue to be an excellent teacher. Claudia Brenda Brown, I give you gratitude as well because you too have continued to be excellent educator and you do well in your craft. Wendy has a way of bringing some laughter to me as well. And so I am really grateful for that. It is always good to have good colleagues. There are a number of others, but those three stand out in my mind, and I must mention them. Over the years, there are some colleagues, some who have since left the profession, whom I've taught with. There's Isaac. I give you gratitude and I salute you. You have been an excellent teacher and a strong source of support as well. Ariane Fleming Thomas, I salute you. I want to salute as well all the former principals whom I've worked, particularly in the primary division. And Mrs. Sutton, you stand out in my mind because you always told me that you knew I had it in me to be in admin. You were able to convince me that it was a good thing to move into that direction. You afforded me the privilege of experience in leadership as well, and that I am grateful for. There are a number of others whom I've worked with. I want to say thank you for the part that you played in my life. But of course, I have to touch on some of the things that have been a bother to me as an educator. So, of course, I must talk about our young men. Young males are dear to my heart, and it always burns me when I see them fall through the cracks because I think the system isn't adequately preparing our young men. Society is not their friend. I've seen it. And so some of them struggle to find their place and make their mark. Sadly, even become statistics or fall to the life of crime, and that has been a bother. But amid all of that, I am grateful for the few who I have been able to impact and who I now see as adults doing positive things for themselves, even if they were struggling as students. So, to all of my male students out there, you know who you are. There are too many names to call. I want to offer gratitude to you to allow me for impacting your life and for always encouraging you to be on your best. When I see you and I see your progress, I am very, very, very happy for you. I know that our young ladies too have their issues, and so I am hoping that within society there will be a change toward the way that young women are dealt with. There are too many of our young women who have fallen prey to sexual abuse, and you parents, some of you are very much aware. That is a sore point for me as well. Too many of our young girls have been left to fend for themselves and make ends meet. Have been forced to push things under the carpet because the parents, you are not being the support that you are. And I will continue to say that if you aren't able, get the help you need. You cannot continue to allow your girls, our young girls, to fall prey to all of those ills. Those are two things that have bothered me within the system a lot. I would really hope to see some changes on the part of those in authority who must make more concerted efforts of getting to know what exactly teachers need and listening to the teachers because they are on the ground. They see what's happening in the classrooms instead of giving lofty ideas and out of touch suggestions or shoving down things on people's throats or forcing their hand to make decisions or to comply. We are to do it in a partnership. I know that some of you are doing your best, but there are many, many of you who aren't on target with what the reality is in the classrooms. To you, my parents, again, I will say to you that you must support the schools that your children attend. It isn't to say that you're going to allow us to run roughshod over your children, but you've got to support us. Do what you have to do. Teach your children common courtesies. Teach them how to resolve conflicts, how to be good humans, how to be empathetic, how to be respectful. There are too many children who are rather disrespectful and think it's okay. Watch the tone of voice that you speak to your children with because they do what you do and they bring it over to us. Insist that they talk to you respectfully because when you don't insist, they come over to us and give us the same thing. To my colleagues, some of you who are using teaching as a stepping stone, everybody has to do what he or she must do, and I'm not going to judge anyone on that note. But what I have to say, though, that you know that you chose to enter the profession. And whether or not you're there for a long while or for a short time, you must be a professional. I know that things are difficult. Trust me, it's 39 years, so I know difficulty. But I want to encourage you and charge you to be a professional. Ensure that you're in the job and do what you have to do. Take care of people's children as you're paid to do. Have your lesson plans. Find creative ways to invigorate your students' minds. And if you aren't able to get the help, seek the help. Be a professional. And if peradventure you think you aren't doing well and you can't continue, seek another option for the children's sake and for yours. But of course, I have to always tell you that it is vital for you to take care of yourself. I know that teachers go above and beyond and spend their money. They are a mother, they are doctor, they are guide, they are psychologists. We teachers are so many things, so many students, and a lot of times we do not see the gratitude. A lot of children these days are ungrateful. So I want to let you know, my fellow educators, that you have to take care of yourself. As much as I'm charging you to be professional, I need you to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself at all times. That is vital, that is crucial, that is important. You aren't able to pour from an empty cup. You can't run yourself down to the ground because I guarantee you, once you have moved down and aren't productive, you will be replaced. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. I just want to just encourage all of us who are partners together in education to work together for the benefit of our students, who I like to say our clients. They deserve the highest product that is available to them so that it meet their needs in this new dispensation and this new society that we're living in. We must learn to get together as well and share ideas as educators so that if something is working well and you think it can have an impact in another area, you should share it. Don't hold all the ideas. Don't hold all the ideas. I am super glad. I am humbled. I am elated. I'm appreciative. And I am super blessed to have served this beautiful land for all of those years. My heart is in it, although I have to say that nowadays my heart has started to become rather heavy because of what I'm seeing. But I'll continue to serve from the heart because I love what I do. I love engaging and impacting and interacting with all the stakeholders as much as I can to make things better. And that has kept me. But my students, when I see you doing well for yourself, I am super pleased. Your children, you need to listen to your teachers. Miss Denard, Mrs. Gordon is now telling you that it is important for you to listen to your teachers and do what you have to do to become a better student. Be respectful. Do your homework. If you are having some problems, find someone that you can talk to that may be able to assist you. We're all in this together and we can make a difference in education. And of course, I can't forget my family members who have been a source of support to me throughout all of this time. To my husband and my two sons, I've talked about my daughter already, but to them, my immediate family, I am happy that you have been a good source of support. You listen to my stories when I am burdened. You laugh when I give the jokes. You are generally there for me all the time, to my extended family members, my sister Ramona and Velma, my brothers, my nieces and nephews. Some of you I've had to teach when you come around me, or when you came around me as well when you were children, and even the little ones now, the great nieces and nephews. I thank you for allowing me to impact your life, to all of society out there. Thank you for the part that you would have played. And those of you who don't particularly like me, because I know that there are some persons who don't favor me, it's no big secret. I thank you as well, because all of the parts make things work. 39 has come, and I look forward to serving for as long as I possibly can, although it is difficult on a daily basis. I am still happy that I have served